Morning. Thought I'd put together a little bit of a video, which we're doing on Sunday mornings anyway, which is just basically just going through a toolbox, sharing my toolbox, and then going through the tools in there, just to give you an idea of things that you might want to have in your toolbox. So this pretty much covers me for all of my builds. What I've got in here, I'll just go through them step by step. Some of the things I've got. So I've got a glue gun, always incredibly useful, particularly if you're going anywhere to stick things back on again. I've got some various chunky bits of pliers just in case. I only tend to carry two. I carry an adjustable big one like that for bolts and issues, and then a slightly smaller one which I think is useful. That's been sprayed with the dirty down rust, so hence it looks a bit rusty. It's not really that rusty. I tend to carry a roll of sandpaper. This is 180. Really not so much for finishing because we've got other bits of sandpaper we use for that, but this is just for smoothing parts down or any kind of inconsequential issues that you may face. Trusty old soldering iron. Important thing about this is it's heat adjustable. This one goes up to 400 degrees. I can turn it down to 230. It's got a relatively fine tip. White grease, lithium grease. This is the stuff that I use for all the plastic gears. Often get asked what we use to lubricate the plastic gears. Use this stuff. Hopefully the printers aren't too loud in the background. This is one of my probably most important tools, which is a really good high quality crimper for Dupont connectors, and again really useful for making cables. A little bit of video on YouTube that shows you through that. Solder for the soldering iron, and then we've got a few other little bits which I'll quickly go through. I've got this came with the Elegoo Mars, which is for getting the prints off the print surfaces. Really quite useful. I have a couple of things for those, and again it's what you collect. These, which are very old-fashioned butter knives, are fantastic for removing prints off print beds, as is this. And then I've got this, which is off a cheese board that I collected. So I've got three kind of different spatula ones that I found are absolutely valuable. Adjustable wrench, always useful on the big stuff. And then a little stubby cross-headed screwdriver. So, and then across here, as you'd expect in most toolboxes, some standard screwdrivers. I tend to carry a pair of scissors and a pen just to mark and to cut things if need be. And then the trusty old side cutters. Again, these are fantastic. Luckily these come with virtually every 3D printer that you buy, and therefore you never tend to run out, but I couldn't do without my little old side cutters. The other thing that I carry around with me, which is really useful, is blue tack. So I've got a blob there, and I do have a packet which I keep underneath there. The reason blue tack is useful is, one, if you're just gluing things together, it's really handy to hold pieces temporarily in place. Soldering, completely invaluable for holding components while you solder things together, where you think you've got, you need 3 or 4 pair of hands. Blue tack is really useful, just to carry in the toolbox. So I do have a 2-tack blue tack. A couple of other things. This, again, we've seen these. These are the head magnifiers that pop onto your head like this, hold with a variety of different magnifying lenses. For small work, for soldering, absolutely essential. And again, I tend to use this on most of the things that I actually do. Carrying on, this is another one of my absolutely essential things, and this is a multiple socket set screwdriver. So it's kind of got it's got a big screwdriver, small screwdriver, and it's got every possible end that you could want, including socket sets. So it saves me having to carry lots and lots of screwdrivers in, and it fits just nicely in there. Instead, spare packet of blue tack just in case. And then I carry a variety mixed bag of pliers. What I would say with pliers, probably the most useful ones when I'm building is actually the ones that you get with the Prusa kits, which are these here, the little snipe nose ones. But I've got some, cutters and all that kind of stuff. I've got some long snipe nose ones which are quite handy. The other pliers that I really quite like are these bent snipe nose ones. As you know, with some of the builds, there's some quite fiddly areas to where you've got to get into, and so these are really useful just for holding things and getting into those sort of areas. Screwdriver set we've covered, and then what I've got is a little box here, and I'll just take you through what we have in here. So in here, this is kind of all my loose stuff. But what's in there? There's Always carry 2-part adhesive Araldite, which is useful. Keep my little plastic filler, which is a very small version of the wood filler, just for doing fine work. I've got some Loctite just for nuts, keep it away from plastic. It dissolves plastic, it's horrible stuff. And I've got some rub and buff, which you can just use for detailing. Tend to have loads of hot glue for the hot glue gun. I have cable ties in here for electronics. I have shrink wrap for the cables for insulation, and I have some wire wool. So I tend to keep that little box just with all my little bits that I might need. And then we have a digital multimeter, which is really quite useful. A huge variety of small needle files. These are both diamond and standard metal ones, which again, great for just taking little bits off. More so on the electrical side then, I have, again, these things really useful, little servo testers for centralising servos. This is a digital display one. I have a servo just as a quick sense check if something's not working, and a battery which I tend to run the servo off. And then I've got a few cables. I tend to carry 2 types. I've got the standard Arduino cable, which is a little square end, and then the more smaller one, which is used for both the Nano and the Maestro. So really, that's pretty much it on the toolbox. Obviously, what I'll probably do is I'll put a list of all the items that are in there, just for interest if anybody's wanting to look at that. But having it all stored together in one area is really, really handy. And what I used to do is have tools all over the place and kind of lost them. So hopefully that's useful. Only a quick video, and watch out for more of these videos. Thank you.